In this video, we're going to go from a diagrammatic master plan like this, which has all the areas and the block and scale that you need, to a more visual master plan that looks like this. And then we'll put it into Visoid and render it to get something like this, all in about 25 minutes. Doing a use case where we are doing a precinct plan for this Gibbs Street precinct. And I'm going to be doing it in two ways. The one is for the areas and the one is for the visualization. So people often say to us, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could put on facades or something, you know, so that we could sell what we're seeing to users that don't necessarily, or to people that don't necessarily, you know, have an urban planning background, non-technical people, which is a fair point. It's not something. It's something which I think is overvalued. The value of highly detailed visualizations is not actually that great, but people really do like them. So I'll show you how you can make them in Giraffe. So I'm just putting together a precinct at the minute, not a very complex one. So we're going to have, say, on the north side, we're going to have a park over this tunnel, some retail fronting the park, maybe a little arcade there where people can walk. So there's two tenancies, and there's a sort of, I guess, another through side link, and then there's a car park. And let's make this, why don't we make this community use? So there's a little small community building there, it could be a school, something like that. And then to the south, we'll have some more commercial. Maybe this is going to be a, sorry, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Maybe this is going to be a pedestrianised street, Gibbs Street, or at least a slow zone. So let's put some more retail over here. 2 levels, another large chunk of retail, we won't plan it out. And we can put some, let's keep this link over here. So what I mean by that is like this. And this is the car park. So let's just do a few sort of commercial buildings like this, and they may as well touch, I guess. And they can have various backs, different sized backs. And then why don't we do another park over here? All right, so we'll grab all of these and make them commercial. With a setback. Maybe above ground level there's another setback. And you can see here I'm actually modeling explicitly because I could be doing some like really complex parametric stuff. But why? You know, it's so quick to model explicitly here. That we may as well do it. And maybe there's going to be a residential tower over here. So let's just draw a tower, residential. You can draw polygons. I mean, you can draw using lines in Giraffe. I always just far prefer drawing using polygons or rectangles. Okay, so some residential, and maybe there's going to be some more residential here, but probably be slightly smaller. And again over here, but slightly larger. This 11 meters probably slightly too small. Okay, so this is quite just a little scheme. Just a little scheme. All right, so here's a precinct that we've designed. Let's just do this so we don't feel too bad about ourselves. Front the street with retail, so then you come in around the back to the car park. And probably in and out there. All right. And this is enough to get the areas. We're modeling out the dwellings, the number of residents, the paved area, the the number of car parks required. We can easily get the number of jobs modeled out by getting the areas of the commercial, which is 16,000 of commercial GFA. So if there's a worker every 100 square meters, or if there's worker every 100 square meters, it's 1,600 workers, one every 10 square meters. Sorry, it's 1,600 if there's one every 10 square meters, otherwise it's 160. So let's say there's going to be 1,600. But all these sort of simple calculations that Giraffe does for you out of the box are done on this level of fidelity. And I would say you don't need to go much further than this. Like this is enough for you to understand view impacts, solar impacts, to certainly talk about the bulk and scale and the feeling of the street. However, one can go a bit further, and I'll sort of show you how one might. So what I would do first is I would copy this in place, and I would create a new layer, and I'd call it Viz. I'll call it Vis1. And that's active. I'll turn this one off and I'll paste that there now on Vis1. Now the reason I'm doing that is because the areas are going to be pulled off the default layer, because we're going to probably muck about with, when you're in visualization, you're solving a different problem set than simple reading of areas off of polygons. And then I have this layer over here, which I'll call Viz templates. Okay, and these I've just copied from a project I had somewhere, and like the nice thing about Giraffe is you can just jump from project to project to project and grab stuff if you want. And maybe I'll do that now. So if I go to my Frankston foreshore project, I can just jump into here. I'll delete that. Zoom in there. So you can see I've got some people. We may as well grab them and this car. But the other thing I want from the buildings is potentially this residential building. So I'll grab some people. So I'm just going to hit copy to clipboard, and I'm going to go back to my visualization. And now on Viz templates, I'm going to paste those, and I'm going to Shift Command V. And I have duplicates, so this is where it gets a little annoying. I'm just going to replace everything. There we go. All right, so what have we got now? We've got ourselves a residential sort of looking dude, and we have some people, and these are on the Viz templates layer. And again, the reason I'm breaking that out is so I can have these off to the side and use them and work with them without mucking up my visualization one. So this thing's on Vis1, so it becomes very straightforward to make this stuff look good. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, I'm going to click Y, I'm going to do that. And the stack order's a bit broken, so you just need to update the stack order of the residential. I've just literally pulled this into here. Now you can see the reason that I've kept this Viz layer, Vis1 layer, here is because because we've added these extra usages, so you can see like all this extra stuff which we want to turn off. Now I can do the same thing with this guy, boom, and just make sure he's the right level. Maybe this guy's going to look more like that. Great. Just make sure the stack order's the same. This is a little tricky in the sense that I've drawn a blob here, but this is a spine-based thing, so I'm actually copy this guy and paste him over here, chuck him on Vis1, and just manually replace this building. Something like this. Cool. All right, you can see there's stack order shenanigans in Giraffe. See if I can do this. ever so slightly to compact this building for these techniques that I'm using. Anyway, there we go. Doesn't look too bad. It'll fly. Just there we go. And again, you can see stack order shenanigans. So just chuck the stack order higher. Okay, so how do we have to do this? So often when you're stacking up these flows, because the awning gets its own stack order, and every element has their own stack order, they obviously interact in relatively unpredictable ways. Okay, now the other thing we can do here is, I think there's actually an edge selector at the start, so you can choose the indices. So say we only want to have the awnings facing this and this, we don't want them there and there. So we'll unselect there and there, and select there and there. Okay. All right, and now these two, so and now what I'll do is I'll show you a couple things as well. So let's just do this, boom, boom, boom. Unfortunately, the levels comes across as well, which is a bit frustrating, but sorry. What happened there? Oh dear. Right. I did something strange. Okay, so what is wrong with you, son? There we go. Okay. So there was a degenerate polygon. So there was 2 points just on top of each other when I did that split operation. It wasn't lovely. So something terrible happened. Okay. And then I just had to fix that polygon, and that terrible thing was then fixed. Okay, and let's just do that guy and down. Okay, so now you can see one of the problems about visualization is that all of these buildings start to look the same. But what we can do is we can change them quite substantially with very little effort. Because basically all buildings, not all buildings, but many, many buildings follow patterns. So this one here, if we wanted a more horizontal look, we could do something like this. Or say 0.2 and let's say 3. And then this transom there is too much. So what I'll do is I will add a color property here first. There we go. Oh yeah, and the offset the polygon. We can offset it out more. Too much. 0.6, 0.5. There we go. And what I want to do is I want to also remove that. So it's this, it's different. So I think that's that one. There we go. Actually looks fine to me. Okay, so now we've got this sort of glassy building next to a more traditional building. And all we've done is we've changed some parameters. It's the same logic. This is again the same logic. It's just slightly different. So there's sort of a bleeding up of this thing, of the, you know, becomes more glassy at the top, more solid at the bottom. I would say maybe that's the wrong way. That looks too similar. Well, certainly we need to change the color. So let's add a color property. Cool. And let's change the blue here because that's getting too similar. So I wonder if it's this. Oh yeah, that's that. Okay, cool. So let's change it to like, yeah, cool. Now look, this is residential, and so it's counting towards the residential even though we've identified it as commercial, but it doesn't matter because we're on the visualization layer, and so it's all just for show. And because there's such different skill sets, visualization and sort of they're such a unique skill set, it's definitely, again, better to keep them separate. And now visualizations, again, it's all tricks because, and it's about creating visual interest and making something appear better than it does. So you can sort of do whatever you want to achieve that outcome. You can do massing, sort of tectonic changes, you can do texture changes, you can do formalistic, whatever you can think of to get it done, make it so. And sometimes, like these guys, I would say are poorly proportioned, these buildings. Like when you look there, it just looks a bit squat. It's not unattractive, but it's not, I wouldn't write home about it, that's for sure. No, that went on the wrong layer, so I'm just going to put that all on Vis 1. There we go. And then I want to do this. Cool. Right, so that streetscape's getting kind of interesting. Now we could just repeat this guy all the way along, and why don't we? Let's just try it like this. Bang. Okay, and now we just need to change our edge selectors. So it's not that one. Okay. Now we just need to heal our stack order shenanigans. Okay, so what's happening is this podium roof has got a stack order too high, whereas this thing has a stack order of, and these solid walls have a stack order. Okay, so what we need to do is increment everything by 10. So let's say 11, and go back, and this guy also needs to be 11, and go back, and then the residential needs to be 5. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now there must be a roof. Generic 3D, he needs to be 15. Now I need to understand why this is doing this. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's delete that guy, bring him in. Okay, looking good. Now I'm just going to use Y over here and then crank that up because that's going to heal the stack order issues that I'm facing. Okay, I'm still getting the wrong awnings, so the edge selector, I need to do that and that. And then just pull this back so that the walls collapse. There we go. I'm going to be interested to see how long this actually took. What I'll do is I'll just fix this podium roof here and I'll just drop it to 1. And I'll do the same over here. Okay, let's turn off the Viz templates. And let's do one more thing. I'm going to create North Viz. I'm going to pop these guys on it. I'm going to turn it down a bit. Okay, and now I'm going to remove these colors so that they become a bit whiter. So I'm going to select all of this together and override the color and the line color. And the color will set to basically white, and the line color we'll leave as that gray. There we go. And so now this is not a bad visualization, right? Oh yeah. Okay, so let's turn off the map labels, and let's just add a. I feel like I've got a road, an avenue with a cycle path, so sort of a nice pedestrianised looking thing. There we go. And if we do that, it's starting to feel kind of rich. Now that's too wide, so what we'll just do is shrink her down. Let's say. And I just want to change these offsets. So this offset is way too big. Cool. And this other tree, he needs to be 7 as well. There we go. And then the cycle path is out of control. And then make him like that. Even then, yeah, okay. Now I'll put this, I won't put this on, I'll put this on Vis 1 so it gets, so it's fully transparent. Sorry, it's not fully transparent. I'll move it over slightly. Clashing of the trees with the stuff, that doesn't matter because trees are not actually round and they can grow up through the awnings. A problem probably with these trees is they're slightly too low. All right, I'm going to turn off all of the stuff. I'll get rid of this arrow. Okay, now this needs to change. All right, now I'm just going to take a screenshot. Well, actually, first what I'll do is I'll save a view. Sorry, save layer state and views and save a view. It's just going to keep loading. I'm going to add another one. One. Save. All right, cool. So what I did now was I saved a view and I chucked it into Visoid and prompted away. And this is the sort of AI visualization workflow where you use prompts in the AI, and it's very good. You know, literally in 3 or 4 minutes you get something like this. I also threw it into Photopea and, you know, put some stuff on it. And if I was a better Photoshopper, we could improve the quality dramatically. But where we've got to now is our actual analytic model. Our classic Giraffe model is this one, right? And that's what we're basing all of our areas, etc. off. And it's this very diagrammatic looking thing, but by leveraging some flows, we've got something like this. And then by leveraging something by Visoid, we've got something like this, all in Photoshop. And obviously in Photoshop, you can do these things where you could copy in some trees and mask them and texture them up. And really make this image, this diagram pop. And obviously if you've ever watched a skilled Photoshop artist work, it's amazing. Photopea.com, very good. All you need to do is just watch adverts as you work, which is fine.